password because they did one of those longer ones.
Yes.
So that was
it's a nightmare when they do that,
almost problematic.
Yeah.
But I got there in the end. So,
well, good to see you anyway.
And good to see you as well. Today's State of the Nation, is it boring and lengthy or not?
Well, it's really just a chance to lay up exactly where we are and what's going on. And I think everyone understands we inherited a hell of a mess and we've had to fix a lot of the basics over the last 2 years. But, you're starting to see all the leading indicators come right. And I think there's some really encouraging and positive things that the recovery is now actually underway. And so the question is, do you want to just watch a recovery take place, or do you actually want to build out and do the right reforms and things that we need to do to set the country up for a great future? So it's really this notion of how do we fix the basics, and we've still got stuff we've got to continue to do daily in that area, but also how do we think about some of the challenges this country's had for 30 years and actually deal with those things that we need to build the future around.
For the record, there will be no new policy today?
We won't be announcing any policy, but I want to announce a framework, and then there'll be more policy as we go through the course of this year.
No election date today?
No, not today, but
that's
it'll
on
come
Wednesday?
Shortly. It'll come shortly.
It'll come Wednesday at the retreat?
It'll come very shortly.
So
yes.
Wednesday, the retreat in Christchurch. Is there a reshuffle coming?
Look, not at this point. There may well be in the next month or two, but I'll make that call just based off, we may have some retirements, we may have some,
When you say you may have some retirements, do you?
Well, no, I don't know, but we may well have some, in which case we might reshuffle some things around, but there's no need for me to feel a compunction to come out at the beginning of the year. Didn't you say before Christmas to all your troops, listen, if anyone's going to retire in election year, let me know so it doesn't come out as a surprise? Oh, no, people make their own decisions and they'll start doing that at this time of the year. But, as I've said on reshuffles, I just make changes when I need to, and when I feel like portfolios need to be reallocated, we'll do that.
Okay. As far as the economy is concerned, it's Christmas kind of got in the way of the good news. The FTA with India, you can't argue with that. That's nothing but
I'm
good
really
news.
excited about that. If you think through 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what that means for New Zealand, that's massive. The Indians reckon they'll be the third biggest economy in 28. Most economists think 2030. And if you think about, just us participating, getting it on the ground floor, growing with a growing country, they've got 440 million people sitting in their middle class. They reckon they'll have 750 million by the end of the decade. That's huge for us.
So in that is the interesting thing. So Peters wasn't particularly thrilled with the FTA. And this is going to be a theme this year, isn't it? How do you differentiate yourself between being Prime Minister and the leader of the National Party?
Yep.
How does he differentiate himself between the leader of the, etc., and David Seymour the same, without the media leaping on board going, cracks in the coalition?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's actually called a mature MMP environment, right? And it's, rightly or wrongly, this is the electoral system that we've selected over many years. You've got to make it work. That means that you actually do need to delegate responsibilities in government to different ministers. They will say things slightly differently, as I've said from day one. That's okay, as long as you're united around the core of what you're doing in government, which we are around the economy and law and order and health and education, all that good stuff. But they need to also, everyone needs to have space in a party sense to differentiate and talk to their constituents and talk to their policies. And so, it's just about the compartmentalisation of that and being able to do that maturely.
Do you think it can be done maturely?
Yeah, I do. I think we've demonstrated that from day one. We've put a three-party coalition together with some, big personalities, parties that actually have differences, but actually are very united on the core of what we're doing. And I think you can't expect to have a first past the post, homogenous sort of expression on everything in an MMP environment. You don't see that in Western Europe and the coalition governments that are formed there. And I think we've managed it very well here.
The poll out the other day on asset, your idea on selling some assets and rolling those numbers. I was surprised at how much support it's got.
Yeah, I read that as well. Again, what I was trying to foreshadow last year was that you've got a choice. You've got money. You've got a set of dollars. And the question is, are you getting the best return for those dollars? And New Zealand needs a lot of assets and it needs a lot of investment. And are you better to recycle assets and redeploy funds to other purposes? And but it was interesting to see that there was, it seemed like there was more, the public was starting to understand that there are choices that you get to make with money.
I think that's to be honest, I think that's the forgotten middle class of this country. There's a lot of people in this country that understand concepts like that. They don't necessarily get represented in the media or make the headlines or any of that, but people get it.
Well, they have to make those choices in their own family budgets, or they're small business people making those choices in their own businesses. They understand the use of money and how you get better returns.
So is that worth campaigning on hard? Because you're never going to get it past Peters is the problem. So therefore you've got to calculate, as good an idea as I might think it may be, if I can't get it past my coalition partner, what's the point? because you've got other fish to fry in a campaign.
Yeah, but I think, and we'll think it through as we go through the course of the year. That's one of the things that you could argue is about building the future, because you actually could take that capital that's tied up in those assets. Some of those assets will be underperforming, some will be performing fine, and actually say, can you do better things with it? Well, I think we should make the case for that. Now, at the end of the day, then you've got to be brutally pragmatic when you come to a coalition formation after an election. That's why I'm going to make the case very strongly, as you'll get sick of hearing us say, that you should, party vote national, because that's actually going to be the thing that will give you the strongest, stable government.
Criticism over the holiday period was you were absent when the world was going through its current tumult. Your view on Venezuela, illegal or not?
Ultimately for the US to explain. We want all countries compliant with international law. It's up for them to explain. We're not a fan of Maduro. In fact, New Zealand has never supported that regime. Pretty bad dude, caused a lot of pain and suffering inside Venezuela. Now it's really about what comes next there.
Greenland, illegal or not?
Well, again, we're not a supporter of tariffs whatsoever. We think that's just bad news for the global economy. I think that leads to a spiralling that's not good for the world. We want transatlantic relationships to be positive. It's in New Zealand's interest for that to be so. And I think, frankly, sitting down and having a discussion about Arctic security concerns and how NATO works together on that, which includes the US and the Europeans, would be the sensible thing to do. But
do you worry about NATO and the future of?
Well, no. I've been to a couple of NATO meetings now as a guest, and I've been really impressed to see them all stepping up their collective responsibility, which they desperately needed to do. They were in a place where they were freeloading, and now as a result they have made some serious commitments to edge towards closer to 5% of GDP on defence spending. But on a place like Greenland, and if there are genuine concerns from the US around Arctic security, it's very clear the Greenlanders want to be part of Denmark. That is their decision as a sovereign nation to make that decision. The US, I think the use of tariffs isn't great, but they should get into discussion and sort through the concerns they actually have.
Do you think we're heading, the best line I read over the period was the age of the empires. Do you think we're heading back to the age of the empires?
Yeah, it's an interesting discourse. There's no doubt about it. The system that we've had for the last 70 years is rupturing big time. And I think that's a really big call to action for New Zealand to say, look, let's control what we can control. And what we can control is building out a stronger economy here at home. And what we can control is actually diversifying and developing deeper partnerships and relationships abroad. And our relative position, because all 195 countries are dealing with the challenges that are out there in the world today, is actually very strong. We have what the world wants. We have the values that people aspire to have. We're seen as a good, reliable partner, and we can do well for ourselves. So that's why the call to action to say we've got to continue to fix the basics, make New Zealand stronger at home here. Let's focus on what we can focus on and control what we can control, and then build out a broader set of relationships, which is why we've been out there hustling right from day one over the last 2 years to set those opportunities up for the country. So I know it's challenging. I know a lot of listeners will be feeling anxious about what's going on in the world, but let's control what we can control, and we have a fantastic future, and we've got a lot of potential that's got to get realised in this country, and that's the exciting work ahead of us.
It's going to be quite the year.
It's going to be fun.
Good stuff. Nice to catch up with you. Appreciate it. Christopher Luxon, 14.2.
G'day, Graham Rose from Window Treatments. Save 40% off roller blinds right now at Window Treatments and enjoy 18 months interest-free. T's and C's apply. Window Treatments for stylish curtains, louver roofs, insect screens, shutters and awnings, and now 40% off selected roller blind fabrics. You name it, we make it. Click on windowtreatments.co.nz.
Stylish blinds from Window Treatments. From Window Treatments.
Superior cutting systems, unwavering performance, and built for business. Whether you're landscaping, mowing a park, a school, vineyard, or lifestyle block, with unmatched operator comfort, zero-turn manoeuvrability, and wide-cut at big speeds, Cub Cadet's commercial range is the best choice for professional contractors that demand strength, reliability, and productivity. Go on, they dare you. Go to cubcadet.co.nz, another Steelfort brand.
Retire with everything under the sun at The Helier by Oceania. Prime views, designer apartments, and a summer sweetener package that makes now the best time to make your move. Free weekly and hospitality fees for a year, $10,000 cashback, and up to $10,000 towards moving costs. Learn more about life at The Helier at thehelier.co.nz. Oceania. Believe in better. Limited time terms, conditions, and eligibility criteria apply.
Experience the all-new Denza B5 and B8, where luxury meets innovation. Denza B5 and B8 plug-in hybrid SUVs blend electrified performance with off-road strength. Delivering refined comfort and advanced technology, Denza is designed for those who demand more. Discover automotive excellence crafted to elevate your journey. Book a test drive today at denza.com.
Absolutely everything is on sale at Freedom. Save between 20 and 60% across absolutely everything. That's all sofas, furniture, homewares and mattresses. It's our biggest sale ever, only at Freedom.
Time's almost up. Rebel's end of season sale is in its final days, and we've gone bigger with an extra 20% off already reduced items. It's your last shot to score these epic savings. But hurry, ends Wednesday at Rebel Sport. See you later, T's and C's.
Marcus Lush.
Hello, Jan. It's Marcus. Welcome.
Yeah.
How are the toenails? All good?
I was going to say it wasn't those little clippers that I was using. It was the